Curious about your thoughts on this one. This is from CBS Sports. Every team's projected win total. So DraftKings has the Browns' projected win total at 8.5. Will Brinson's projected record is 7-10. Browns were very up and down in terms of their defensive performances, depending on home road splits. That's a red flag. The other side of the ball, biggest loss might be Bill Callahan. Mixon in the unknown timeline for Nick Chubb. I think you'd make the case for the rushing offense could fall off a cliff. How can anyone possibly suggest Deshaun Watson will be good again? We haven't seen it in more than 3 years. I think Stefanski would prefer having Baker Mayfield on this team, given his system. I can guarantee you that's not the case. It didn't end well for the coach and Baker Mayfield, and they're changing the system. I think 8.5. I think it's awfully light. I think 9, 10 is kind of the floor, and in this division, probably 11, 12 is the ceiling.
Yeah, the tough part is going to be the division. I mean, it is the best division in football, I would say, top to bottom. You've got the Ravens and the Bengals, and with Joe Burrow healthy, and again, presuming health again for the reigning MVP and Lamar Jackson, that is a tough division. The Steelers might have their question marks at quarterback, but they also have a good, solid roster around those guys, plus just the Mike Tomlin factor that they're almost guaranteed to win their 9 games and at least not have a losing season. So 8.5 is not a crazy win total just because they're always a little bit lighter than you feel like they're supposed to be coming off, when the books are putting those together. It's uncomfortable not knowing exactly what you're getting from Deshaun Watson or being, 11 or 12 games into his Browns career and not seeing any semblance of where he was in Houston, and not knowing if that's ever going to turn around. Is the switch going to flip for Watson? I thought some of the other points that Will made, not bad. Bill Callahan, I'm a huge fan of his, obviously, and it's a huge win for Tennessee. I don't know if they necessarily feel that in year one as far as the offensive line goes. The only thing I'd add is the defense has a chance to regress just because defense is really tough. Even when you have the same exact depth chart, the same exact roster, the same scheme, it's a little bit more volatile than offense, right? So all of the success that they had last year, limiting opposing passing games. We also saw in the playoffs they couldn't, busted coverages left and right, and they couldn't cover anybody against Houston. So defense is just naturally volatile. It is tough to depend on the defense year over year, which is why the offense is so key to get Watson on track and to get that chemistry early on.